Welcome everyone, I'm Nicole Herrick DIY and I'm going to show you how to make this circular wall garden. Are you ready? Let's go! Just before we get started, if you are new, welcome, introduce yourself below, and if you like DIYs, feel free to subscribe, it is free. So the first thing we need is a large piece of round timber. It could be plywood, MDF. It could even be a secondhand old coffee table or dining table. I'm making mine 1 meter by 1 meter. And for me, it was just easier to buy a piece of 9mm MDF and just cut that. I made my own circle jig. At first I thought I'd be able to use a jigsaw, but then I realized quite quickly that it just bends the saw blade, so I figured out quite quickly that this is why people use routers for circle jigs. But luckily I was able to adjust my jigs so that I could fit my router in that slot. I measured from the center of the router bit out every 10 centimeters and popped a small hole. And that's how easy it is to make a circle jig. Okay, I have a trolley that I'm going to put it on top of and see if I can kind of spin it and stay in the one spot with my jigsaw. I don't know if I've got enough space to spin around this huge thing, but let's pop it there and take a look. That's going to break. Okay, I have enough space. Excellent. So let's find the center of this. This thing I'm using is an old vertical blind bracket. These are so handy. Hold on to them if you've got one. Work in a hallway, they said. This is the best spot for it, they said. Honestly, don't listen to me, ever. Ah! So I'm just marking the center here, and I'll use this to align where my circle jig needs to spin. And it's right about here that I realized that there's probably a reason that circle jigs are clear. Oh, I'm gonna get that exactly there. Did you think this through, Nicole? No? Anyway, all I did was shove a long nail in it and use that nail to go into the center. So with a router, what you want to do is take short passes. So you can't do the whole 9mm MDF at once. Just do about 3mm depth at a time and then lower your bit and then keep going. Also, you're meant to go in a certain direction with a router. So just pay no attention to whichever direction I'm going in because it's probably wrong. I also made myself a quick French cleat. This is just basically a piece of scrap timber cut on the diagonal down through the center, and then you use one on the back of your round piece and then one on the wall, and they slot together basically. You can buy these as well if you don't want to make one, but they're super simple, so why not just whip one up? I also did a couple of scrap bits of timber that I thought I might need for stapling to. Okay, so I've got my big round cut, I've got my edge pieces that will go around, I've got some little scraps of timber that I can sort of place around that can actually like hold it outwards. I've got my French cleat for the back. I've got some chicken wire or bird wire, some little easy quick ties, my nail gun, some glue, pliers to cut, hammer to hammer in any nails that don't go in. Let's just say if we can do this, it should be pretty easy. No? Don't know what I'm doing. Oh, you thought I knew what I was doing? Absolutely not. I never know what I'm doing. I literally just make everything up as I'm going. So I decided to use my nail gun for this. Now, when using a nail gun or even a staple gun, you want to make sure that your hand is never in the firing path, okay? Please don't message me and say, Nicole, I put a hole through my hand and it's all your fault, because I told you, okay? I told you. I did make a mistake in this, in that I should have used much shorter nails. You will see why in a minute. I made sure to leave my side pieces just a little bit long so that I could do it exactly to the right spot. A jigsaw probably would have been a safer tool to cut that, but I just grabbed my angle grinder for some reason. Now I do need to have something to screw these into so that I get a nice seam join here. This is where my little blocks of wood came in handy. So I just screwed both sides into a block of wood, and then that gave me a nice join. I added some wood filler and waited for that to dry and sanded it smooth before painting the edges. I went with black because I wanted this to sort of sink away, and I don't know, just I wanted it black. Okay, you can paint it whatever color you like. And here is where I show you why you should use shorter nails and shoot them in straight. Feel free to roast me in the comments for the back of this. So my wall is going to be here. This piece is going to be screwed on to the wall, and it gives me a hook. So this piece is my down hook. So this is my up hook, this is my down hook. So this piece gets screwed to here. All right, I think I'm just going to put it in the middle. Why not? So the easiest way I could think of to figure out how to drill this from the other side was just to put 2 screws in from the back side first, and then they go all the way through, and I can sort of turn it around and draw a line across, and then I know where to put my 3 heavy duty screws in, making sure that they have a washer on them so that there's plenty of surface area, so nothing pulls through, because this thing is heavy. All right, next up we've got chicken wire. Okay, so I tried to cut these with a pair of pliers and quickly realized that that was way too slow, so I used my angle grinder and a metal cutting disc. Then I realized I needed some more of the little nubs is what they're called, some little blocks of timber to be able to staple this into around the edges, so I added a few more of those. All right, here's how we are looking. So I ended up screwing these extra little ones in from the side and then just stapled on top of those, and hopefully that should be enough. Okay, I just remembered I also have this stuff, which is just shade cloth from the hardware store. So I think I'm going to put this over here to sort of give it a black background so that hopefully you can see through the leaves, it's just black and looks shadowy. So I just stapled that and tucked the rest in, and then it was time to pop in my plants. Now with the plants, I made sure to get a variety of different sizes and types and colors, and some that drooped down, some that were like in small clusters that I could sort of separate and feather them out a bit. I actually got mine from AliExpress because that was my cheapest option. In Australia, they're not super cheap, even at the dollar stores, but in a lot of other countries, dollar stores have very cheap faux plants. I just used my scissors to poke a small hole wherever I was putting a plant stem, and also used some gardening wire just to secure it in place. Before I put this away for the evening and admit defeat that I have to come back another day because I have some patchiness. This is what we're looking like, and I kind of like it. To finish off, I found a big sort of square that had like a solid piece of greenery on it. You can buy these from Kmart and Bunnings, but you don't want to use these for the whole thing because they're quite flat and not that realistic looking, but it was totally fine for a small little patch. Okay, I'm ready to put my French cleat on. So we want to make sure that the point is going upwards and the slant is going towards the wall, so falling towards the wall. Okay, so I think I'm going to put it about here-ish. And I want to make sure that I am going at the bottom instead of in the middle, because there's only from here to here is where we need to be drilling. Now I have a board left over from a previous thing that I can drill into here, but you will probably need to either find the studs. You can do this by knocking or using a stud finder, or you can use toggle bolts. So these are designed to go straight into drywall. They will clamp onto the back and give really secure hold, and they also hold different weights in objects. Now I will go through and just like refluff everything and fill all the gaps now that it's up. Just before I show you the final result, did you know that dropping a simple comment below and a little like helps support my channel more than you could ever know? And if you're not subscribed already, feel free to subscribe because it is free. All right, let's show you the final result.